Hello and welcome to this week's Kicktalk Reboot. On this week's show, we have action from Thistle versus Kilwinning in the Macron Scottish Cup quarter-final. We also talked to an old friend of Kicktalk in pundit Drew Cochrane, and we catch up with both camps. We also have Stuart McConnell, who's at Meadow versus Cumnock in the McBookie.com Premier Division. But without much further ado, it's on to the results. In the Macron Scottish Cup, it was quarterfinals. It was Halford 1, Clydebank 1, Largs 5, Kilwinning 0, Pollock 0, Auchinleck 3, and Troon 0, Lochee 2. In the McBookie.com Premier Division, it was Glenafton 1, Petershill 1, Meadow 1, Cumnock 0, Robroy 3, Cambuslang 1. West Region Championship, Athley 2, Rossvale 1, Craigmark 1, Ovenvix 1, Dorai 2, St Rochs 0, Govan 1, Cumbernauld 2, Kello 0, Larkhall 1, Kilsyth for Benbub 4, Rutherglen 0, Darvel 1, Whitlets 2, Neilston 3. West Region League 1, Bellshill 1, Blantyre 0, East Kilbride 1, Winton 1, Lugan 0, Shotts 6, Maryhill 0, Greenock 3, Maple 1, Gartcairn 4, Royal Albert 1, Wishaw 0, Yoka 0, Shetson 1. West Region League 2, Ashfield 2, Muirkirk 1, Forth 2, Vale of Clyde 3, Johnsonborough 1, Saltcoats Vix 3, Lanark 3, Newmains 0, Lesbehagle 3, and Bank 1, Thornywood 5, Vale of Leven 2. Well, I was at the Macron Scottish Cup quarter-final where it was Thistle 5, Kilwinning 0. Thistle were thoroughly dominant from the word go. Graham Muir had an early effort just wide of target. Ben Black forced strain into an early save, and Scott Adam crashed an effort off the crossbar. This was all in the first 18 minutes. And it was no surprise in 20 minutes Largs went 1-0 up. Mark Miller had actually intercepted a rare Kilwinning foray into the Largs Thistle half, and it was, let's say, it was a quick counter, and Ben Black managed to round the defender and keep a strain on the edge of the area, and tucked into an empty net. Second half, Largs went 2-0 up in 50 minutes as it was Nicky Jemison who was taken down in the box, and Scott Adam converted from the spot. There was a real moment of drama just moments later as Kilwinning keeper Adam Strain was red carded. He protested it was the wrong man sent off, but referee Callum Scott ushered the Kilwinning number 1 off the park. So Largs carried on where they left off from, and it was a corner kick out on the right hand side. Craig Little delivered a brilliant header into the top left hand corner, and it was 3-0, and Largs went 4-0 up in 62 minutes. So Thistle really in dreamland as Dun United midfielder Mark Miller scored a stunning drive into the roof of the net from fully 30-35 yards out. Largs fans were, like I say, in raptures. As for Kilwinning, it had gone from bad to worse, and Miller rounded off the scoring in 70 minutes with a rifled low free kick. Substitute keeper Taylor will probably feel he should have done better with it. Kilwinning is boiling and then saw red as they were reduced to 9 men. So it was a really sore one for Kilwinning, who never really got going. But as for Largs, they can now look forward to the semi-final, and they were thrilled by the result. I spoke to manager Stuart Davidson. Anyway, fantastic result today.
Yep.
What can you say about that performance?
One of the best performances we have been here. I thought the boys were absolutely brilliant. From start to finish, even though we were a few goals ahead and the boys kept their composure, played the ball, just the desire today was frightening. I'm really pleased for the boys more than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many positives, defensively we were so robust as well.
Yep.
Some fantastic goals too.
Aye, we were solid at the back. That's what we had to make sure, because I know we've got goals in this team, so we had to make sure that we were solid. Nobody netting daft. They were throwing some balls up early doors in the first half, and we were dealing with it. And eventually we kind of got our foot in the game, and we played some great stuff at times. I thought thought some of our moves were brilliant, some cracking goals, and just it was one of the performances where just every part of the park, everybody done their bit, and it was excellent.
A few injuries today though as well.
Aye, who got one then? Wee Ben was feeling something when he came off there, and Nicky was just a precaution, he just kind of hurt his knee a wee bit, so we just took him off just to make sure. So thanks, John.
Brilliant, cheers, thank you very much. I also spoke to Kilwinning assistant manager Barry Fleeting.
A lot of talent in our dressing room, and we just didn't particularly perform today. It just didn't work for us in many ways. Lars made it very difficult and pressed as well, and I think it's fair. They got what they deserved out of it.
In terms of obviously there was the penalty and there was obviously the red cards. Did you have any issue with any of those?
No, I mean I think the red card. I think when you look at it, there's a sending off within it. I don't necessarily think the right player was sent off in the situation.
Yep.
But you can't argue that it's a foul and where it's at.
Half Largs got the early goal, so they managed to kind of hang on there, didn't they, until half time?
Yeah, I mean, same thing happened last week. They scored early, far earlier in the game, and we reacted better and we got ourselves back in the game. Today we struggled to do that.
It's all about next week now. Who have you got next week?
We are Kilwinning at home.
Alright, so
back to a week.
big one to bounce back to.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to show the impact of our team as to how they approach that game.
And after the match, I got the opportunity to speak to an old friend of Kicktalk Reboot and experienced junior football pundit, Drew Cochrane.
Yeah, well, I knew if Largs turned up, they would win. And when you think about it, 5 goals off Kilwinning Rangers, nobody outside of Largs expected it. But when you think that we've taken 7 off Meadow, 7 off Cumnock, 6 off Kilwinning, they're just so capable when they're going forward, Largs. But they played really well. They've got good midfield players. Mark Miller's obviously an ace player, and the pace and the danger from the 2 wingers, Ben Black and Ryan McKee, so they're capable of scoring in every game they go into.
Defensively, they were very, very strong and robust, and Mark Miller's 2 goals were outstanding as well, weren't they?
Yeah, although the Kilwinning substitute keeper won't want to look back at the highlights. Good for Largs certainly was Jimison being reunited with Craig Little. But a wee worry there as he limped off at the end, probably just a precaution. But Largs, you know, they're talented from back to front, and the record, of course, at Barfield. The confidence of playing at home today. If you look at the record this season, the only team to beat them here was Auchinleck Talbot, and even at that, Largs had 10 men that day. So thanks to Stuart Davison, Barry Fleeting and Drew Cochrane. We'll now hand over to Stuart McConnell, who was on Premier Division duty.
Welcome to Meadow Park, where the final score in this bookie Premiership match was Irvine Meadow 1, Cumnock 0. Transformed team Meadow amazingly racked up their 9th league win out of 10 with a dominant display against struggling 9-man Knock. The street revenge following their 4-0 pasting at Townhead Park last August. The host dictated the pace of the game and could have won much more convincingly had they taken some of their other chances. Cumnock exerted a bit of early pressure, but it came to nothing. The hosts were awarded a penalty in 17 minutes when skipper Ben Carson was adjudged to have been pushed in the box by Stephen McKenna, although there didn't look to be much contact. The home captain dusted himself down before netting from the spot. Just a minute later, home striker Roddy Patterson headed narrowly wide from 8 yards. Then in 23 minutes, Jared Willett sent a 25-yard free kick just high and wide as the home side continued to threaten. Patterson saw his close-range header well handled a minute later. Home goalie Sean Newman came racing out to save at the feet of Mohamed Niang in a rare comeback attack in 32 minutes. A minute later, Willett's 25-yard shot was well handled by Ali Semple in the visiting goal. Patterson pounced on a loose ball just outside the box in 52 minutes, but Semple made a fine one-handed save to foil him. Then the visiting goalie made another fine save to foil Carson from 6 yards in 54 minutes. A Carson free kick from 25 yards was well saved 2 minutes later. Meadow won a free kick in the edge of the box in 58 minutes. The resultant set piece from Darren Miller crashed off the post. Patterson saw his long range effort well saved in 70 minutes. Meadow were denied what looked a fair claim for penalty 5 minutes later when a Darren Jones cross from outside the box was handled by a Knock defender. Cumnock were reduced to 10 men in 89 minutes when Kyle Fawles was sent off for a late tackle on Reece Pearson. And a minute later, James Lundy was sent off for a second yellow card as the hosts held on to win. So from Meadow Park, where the final score in this McBookie Premiership match was Irvine Meadow 1, Cumnock 0 at Stuart McConnell for Kicktalk.
So Meadow move up to second place in the McBookie.com Premier Division, and after the game, Stuart spoke to Irvine Meadow manager Brian McGinty.
Aye, to be fair, we didn't play as well as we've been playing, but I've always said since we came here that football's about winning games. It doesn't matter how you win them. We've played really well the last few weeks. Played well the first half, I thought, but second half I didn't think we played well at all. Obviously Cumnock could fight for their life, so they came in it, but I didn't think we didn't really create an awful lot. I thought we defended really well, as we always do.
You had an awful lot of chances, you know, you could have 5.
And again, without playing too well, I think we probably could have been 3 or 4 up. And that's just football, but I get back to it, one's enough. And you win the games. If you miss all the chances and you get beat or you draw, those chances are important. So, but we won the game. 9 out of 10 wins, it's quite a record, you know. That's a great run. I think at this level of football, for any team, I said it when Hurlford were putting their run together at the start of the season, for any team to go and win that amount of games in a row or in a group of games at this level, when the league is so competitive, it's a massive achievement for the guys. But again, I know everybody must be sick of me saying it, but it's just one in a row today, and when we go to play Glenafton next week, they're obviously hovering just below us, so we'll look to go and put a bit of distance between us, albeit they've got games in hand, but no, just massive result for us again.
And you know, you just dug in. You're really hard to beat in the sense of being awkward. You know, you're just you pin everyone back. You know,
we've got a togetherness in the squad, and in the dressing room, the boys know that there's a real togetherness. That they don't want to let anybody down. They don't want to let each other down, and we have that in the dressing room, and that's what's got us through. Since probably since maybe February last year, in terms of when we went in the promotion run. No one to let each other down is a huge thing in a football dressing room, and I think we've got it. So even when somebody makes a mistake, somebody goes and gets them out. You're going to make mistakes. We're no perfect players. So when somebody makes a mistake, somebody else goes and gets them out.
So thanks to Brian McGinty, and thank you for joining us on this week's edition of Kicktalk. Goodbye.